Hi folks, welcome to the Holy Irregular ECY Shedcast, episode, I think, is this 40? Thank you for watching or listening and commenting and all the rest of it. It's much appreciated. Sorry about last week's hiccup. I'm gonna have to keep it quick today because I've got absolutely loads to do. As I'm sure I mentioned, we're closed next week for our annual autumn holiday, so I've just been really busy today trying to get everything organised and sorted so that when I come back on the 13th, everything will be ready to go, so that we can just open up, pick orders and crack on with what needs doing. But it's quite a lot of work, sort of like sorting and tidying and organising on top of actually trying to finish work in progress as well. So yeah, got a lot on my mind, even things like I need to make sure that I put the recycling out so that that's ready to go on Tuesday while we're away, and you know, just all that kind of thing. So yeah, just gonna keep it quick today. It's been another week at Shedquarters, so I haven't actually got nearly as much done as I had hoped, because on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, my back flared up again, which means herniated discs. If you've ever had them, you'll know how painful they can be. So I have to say this time hasn't been as bad as previously, and I tend to find that every time, oh god, my phone is slipping, sorry, I've got it wedged in this like really strange looking contraption, which is meant to be able to kind of like hold the the phone wherever you need it. Right, hopefully that'll stay. Sorry about the weird angle. It's wedged. I've got a light switch, and then there's like the conduit, the plastic conduit with the wiring in, and my phone and this thing are wedged, like with it behind, attached to the conduit. So yeah, you are sitting just above the light switch in the office from your perspective. Sorry about that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, back. You know, I mean, I've got this thing for the rest of my life, and I've had it for 20 plus years. It's nothing new. But what I have found in recent years, since sort of working a lot on my strength and conditioning and the running and everything, is that every time I get the herniated discs, it's slightly less agonising than the time before, and it recovers that little bit quicker each time as well. So anyway, this time it flared up, but I've still been fairly mobile with it, just in a substantial amount of pain, not the usual kind of like ringing the GP begging them for codeine kind of thing, but enough to kind of go, oh, paracetamol is not going to cut it, which is unfortunate because that's all I had to hand. And to be honest, I don't really get on with codeine anymore, so I don't actually take it unless I'm like beyond desperate. Anyway, long story short, it meant that I haven't been able to do as much this week as I'd hoped, which is annoying and frustrating, but it's just the way it goes. You know, the whole point of me being self-employed and being my own boss was so that when my back does kick off, I'd be able to kind of, you know, I'm in my own environment, I can control it, and I can sort of decide, you know, what I would do for the day in order to adapt to my pain levels or whatever. Of course, it doesn't actually really work like that in reality, but that was the whole idea to begin with. And I've always wanted to be self-employed anyway, so yeah. But anyway, there we go. What can you do, you know, when you're in a lot of pain? There might be stuff that's urgent, but it's a toss-up between how urgent is this really? Is it really urgent enough for me to be in quite severe pain to complete it? Usually no. Sometimes yes, but usually no. Anyway, and that was the case this week. There was stuff that I wanted to do, but it's not so desperate that I had to force myself to tolerate the pain. It's basically nerve pain at this point. It's just really bad nerve pain. So, you know, like sciatica and kind of nerve pain. It's my lower back, so it's just kind of nerve pain in the whole of my lower back really, and it sort of shoots into my hips and my legs. So yeah, sorry, that was really long-winded, wasn't it? Basically, yeah, so this week hasn't been as productive as I would have liked. However, we have still got plenty done. The sparkly festive update is well on the way. It's ready for photography, which I had hoped to do, although actually it's clouded over. But I don't think I can fit it in this afternoon, if I'm honest. So that might have to wait until I get back. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I really wanted to get done. But the yarn isn't all ready anyway, to be honest. The Titus 4-ply is waiting for photography as well. That's a much bigger update, and that'll be a much bigger job. So I do need a full cloudy day, not just like an hour in the afternoon. And we have had stormy weather here this week, so it's been absolutely pouring down. And I would have struggled to do photography with my back anyway. So Titus 4-ply is ready and waiting, and it'll be here and waiting for us when we get back. And then the next thing on the list is Hayton 4-ply. That's in progress. It's all dyed now, and it's about halfway through the twisting. None of it's labelled yet, so there's still a fair bit of work to do. So I mean, here's just one of the colours that we have. So Hayton 4-ply is our gorgeous merino cashmere nylon, and actually Liz Cork has released a fingerless mittens pattern in Hayton 4-ply just today. So if you are wanting that specific yarn for that pattern, excuse me, it's on its way. Hopefully in probably about 2 weeks time from now. By the time it's all finished and I photographed it, bearing in mind I've got all the stuff to photograph first as well. So yeah, Hayton 4-ply. What else have we got? Pendle Chunky is about halfway through the dyeing process, so that'll be coming in the not too distant future. We've been working on a lot of dyed to order orders this week as well, so some have shipped and we've got quite a lot in progress, and they will need to be twisted, labelled and shipped after I get back. So Jane was asking on my last Shedcast, hi Jane, about the turnaround time for the dyed to orders. So we have the turnaround time written in all the product listings, just in case any of them need adjusting, and it's currently, I think, on 3 weeks, mostly because we knew that I had this week off coming up, which would delay anything coming in this week. So yeah, I think a lot of the time I should be able to get them out quicker than that, but there will also be a lot of the time when it does end up being about sort of about 2 to 3 weeks. So like, for example, any coming in while I'm off would probably be able to be dyed the week after and then shipped sort of a few days after that. Is that right? Yeah, so it is a good 2 weeks really. Anyway, so yeah, that's the dye to order stuff, and do have a look if you're after like a sweater quantity, like this for example. This is Keld Aaron, and this is my Blossom jumper, if you can see it, by Along Avec Anna, highly recommended. Oh, and this is my Cloud Cowl. This is the one skein version in Leather Lace, also highly recommended. Am I allowed to say that when it's my own pattern? I found it really, really addictive anyway. I've made loads of these already. I actually had the 2-colour 2-loop one on earlier, but it's warmed up a bit, so now I've moved on to the one skein and 1-loop one, the slightly lighter one, whilst it's a bit warmer. And then as it gets colder, I'll probably move back onto the 2-loop one. And then when it's really cold over winter, I shall wear my 3-loop one, because that is very, very cozy. So yeah, I think I've told you what we've done this week. I've told you what's coming up. Pattern releases this week, that was Liz. Oh, I think that's all. I'm no further with any reading. I haven't done any reading for ages. So yeah, hopefully I'll get some more done next week, and I'll be able to talk about books with you again as well. And oh, my Kismet jumper, that was on the Shedcast last week. I've not got it out here at the moment. I'm about to here on the first sleeve. Last week I was going on about the sleeves, wasn't I, actually? It turns out I didn't do the sleeve on 3.5mm needles. I did indeed do them on 3.25mm needles, and I realised when I moved on to the DPNs and my tension looked really loose, and then noticed the numbers on the actual needles that I used for the colour work. Oops. So yeah, I had to do a little bit of ripping out. So yeah, I am on with that. I must admit the colour work at the top of the sleeves is actually a bit tight and would have benefited from being on 3.5mm needles. But I think it'll be okay and I'll get away with it. I can get the sleeve on with a long sleeve top underneath. So hopefully once it's been washed and the yarn kind of relaxes and blooms, it'll loosen off just enough to wear, so that should be fine. So yeah, I've just got a second sleeve to do, well, a bit of the first sleeve, and then second sleeve to do, and then neckline, and that will be it. So I'm hoping to finish it probably whilst on holiday. I was hoping to finish it before, if I'm honest, but yeah, hopefully while I'm on holiday, and we can get some pretty pictures of it in like the forest or on a mountain or something. That's quite motivating, isn't it? So yeah, that's my Kismet. And I think for my next project, assuming that I get onto it whilst on holiday, I think I'm going to do a pair of Liz Cork's new mittens in Hayton 4-ply, seeing as I've got plenty to choose from here. I don't think I've got any in stash at the moment, so I think I'll be picking a new skein. I've not made fingerless mittens for ages, and I do really wear them. So, and also to my shame, I haven't made any fingerless mittens by Liz, and she's released quite a lot in my yarn. So, you know, I really ought to get around to it. And I love the stitch patterns that she uses as well. You know, I really love her design. So, I just need to get on and do that. So yeah, if I take that on holiday with me, then I will actually get on with it, hopefully. So yeah, I will see you when I get back, and like I said, we've got loads of lovely new yarn coming up. There's plenty on the website in the meantime if you're after anything. I obviously won't be able to ship it until the 13th, but if you've got plenty to be on with and you're happy to wait, then that should be fine. And we've all got plenty to be on with, really, haven't we? So yeah, Laura will be will still be around in the office because she works from home down in Cambridgeshire. So she will still be around. So if you need anything, pop her an email. Don't use my personal email address, which is the Victoria at Eden Cottage Yarns email address, because that will only go to me and you'll just get my autoresponder. You need to use info at, ideally please, because that will go to both of us. Or you could email Laura at and copy me in. But yeah, if you send an email directly to me, Laura won't see it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, but if you need anything, pop her an email. And she obviously can't check stock because she's not here, but other than that, she should be able to help you while I'm gone. So yeah, I think that is all for this week. So I will see you a week on Friday. So yeah, 2 weeks today, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you about loads of new stuff that's gone on the website, and loads of new stuff in progress. The festive boxes will be in progress then as well. They've been slightly delayed, but it's fine, we're fine for time. Yeah, I think that's it. That really is everything now. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great couple of weekends in the meantime, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye. This is the weird thing that my phone goes in whilst I'm recording. I just thought I'd show you, because how the hell am I meant to describe that? But it keeps slipping. I really need to work out something better, or get some actual professional equipment of some sort. So yeah, that is where you are watching me from. I'll just back up so that you can see a bit more of the fourth wall. There you go. I'll tell you what, I'll show you a few other bits. So God, it really doesn't look great out there, does it? Like, the garden doesn't look very nice. It looks better in summer, but that box there is my main hedgehog feeding box, and that is a little hedgehog feeding station as well. And hang on, there we go, that is their water bowl. So we have a cemetery. In fact, that vehicle belongs to the grave diggers, I'm afraid. We have a cemetery there, so the hedgehogs come under this main gate. They come here, or they'll go around the back of those stones. They have a drink here, and then they know exactly where they're going, because they go straight along round here and into the feeders. And I've got another feeder further down in the border as well, but you can't see it. It's hidden behind there. So that's feeder number 3 over there. So yeah, they kind of like make their way all the way down the border, and then, I don't know if you can see it from here, nearly, and then they go all the way along and then out under that gate, and then eventually they'll come all the way back up and back out, because the cemetery's got quite a lot of wild areas. It's a very, very old cemetery, and the church is really old, and it's not really used anymore. So although yes, there are new graves going in, there's really not very many. So there's still a lot of wild areas in the cemetery for the hedgehogs, which is great. And we get, it's hard to say because it's not always easy to identify individuals, but we get at least 4 a night, pretty much every night. A real range of sizes. They are eating us out of house and home. They're, humans are destroying their habitat and their food sources. So They know that they can get a really good meal here. We feed them kitten kibble. If you're going to do that, you can go for pretty cheap stuff. It doesn't need to be expensive. You just need to make sure that protein, or well, meat, is the first ingredient on the list. It needs to be high protein. Hedgehogs can't digest cereals. It's just worthless bulk to them. So they need protein, because they would normally eat things like beetles and caterpillars. It doesn't really matter whether it's crunchy or if it's wet food, but I go for dry food because it doesn't go disgusting and it doesn't attract flies and things as well. But to be honest, they generally polish it up, the whole lot, overnight anyway. Anything else? They drink quite a lot of water, so a water bowl like that will be really helpful to hedgehogs. We do have dogs, as I'm sure you know, and one of them, being a small terrier, is obsessed with our hedgehog visitors. So that's why the feeders are, they're actually, for me, they're really difficult to get to. They're quite awkwardly positioned, but I can just about get in there to clean them out and refill and stuff. So yeah, if you're going to buy, you can buy hedgehog food. If you're going to do that, just check what it's got in it. Things like mealworms, calciworms, and as I've said, cereals, all that kind of thing are terrible for hedgehogs, and they are often in hedgehog food because wild animal food is not a regulated industry, whereas pet food is. Some hedgehog foods even have dead flies in it, like crushed up dead flies and that kind of thing in, just to bulk it out. And then they charge you more for it as well. So just go for supermarket cat kibble or kitten kibble and you'll be fine. And just check that it's not like mostly cereal. What else? Oh, whilst I'm talking about what hedgehogs eat, sorry, I know this is very niche, they don't eat slugs and snails. Well, they don't any more than like we do or our dogs do, because slugs and snails contain internal parasites which often kill hedgehogs. They certainly make them very, very sick, and if not treated, it does kill them. They only eat them because they are so starving, and slugs are everywhere. They're very abundant. So yeah, if you want slugs and snails eaten, I think you need, I think ducks or hens possibly, or do frogs eat them? I don't know, but it's not hedgehogs anyway. So please don't think that if they're eating slugs that they're being well fed. If they're eating slugs, they're on the brink of dying from starvation. Anything else? That's probably it, but hit me up with any questions about hedgehogs if you like. If I don't know the answer, I can find out or show you where to look. I mean, I'm only regurgitating what I've learned from hedgehog rescues, which are they are the experts. Vets are not experts on hedgehogs, understandably. Chris Packham, also not an expert on hedgehogs, weirdly enough. The best source of information, I'm gonna have to move, my arms are aching. The best source of information that I would recommend would be hedgehogcabin.co.uk. It's a website belonging to a rescue. It's full of information. It's very practical, and yeah, they are actual genuine hedgehog experts. So yeah, so I know that was a very random little piece all about hedgehogs, but they are quite an important part of our garden setup. And you know, we have a wildlife camera that we put out every night, and all this kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I've ended up talking a lot about them. We've got bird feeders up as well, but there's nobody on them at the moment. And the dogs are closed in the house because it's cold. So yeah, that's like I say, that's the fourth wall that that you're watching me from when you watch the Shedcast if I'm in the office. So yeah, anyway, if you've tolerated listening to all that rubbish, then thank you very much. Bye.